Hey there, I'm going to show you what I mean when I say that you don't really need as many links as you think to rank number one for a specific keyword. And I'm going to show you a few examples and how to gauge or how to know how many links you need to build to rank number one. It doesn't links isn't the only thing, of course, but usually backlinks is the biggest needle mover when it comes to SEO because everything else is quite easy to do. It doesn't take that much work. It isn't that expensive or that resource extensive to do. Like when we do SEO or link building for our clients, it's usually quite easy and fast to get all the basics in place, but then the main gap that determines who ranks number one and who ranks number 2 or 3 or 4 or 55 is the amount of backlinks their domain or their specific page has. And I'm just going to show you a few examples and show you how to measure the link gap. I call it the link gap, just showing you how many links does the number one ranker have. And it's usually beneficial to also look at the average of the top 3 because sometimes there are outliers. And here goes. So usually you need a tool like Ahrefs. I recommend Ahrefs because I would say it's the most accurate backlink measurement software out there. Another option you could use is SEMrush if you have access to it. But if you don't have access to either of these, you can either use SEMrush because they have a free trial. I can put the link down below, or Ahrefs. I usually prefer Ahrefs because it's just, in my opinion, a little bit more accurate, although the difference is negligible. So the way to check this is just go and pull up your most important keywords. So in this example, I'm going to look at pull out sofa bed. So this particular keyword, pull out sofa, has 16K searches in the United States every month. People are using different phrases, different ways to search for the same thing. So ideally, the aggregate search volume is much, much bigger. I would estimate that the actual search intent is over 50,000 per month. You can see here even some small keywords, pull out bed 16K, sofa with pull out bed, which is exactly the same thing, 1.8, pull out queen, 1.5K, and so on and so forth. So if I now go to the top 10 rankers, or it's only showing me top 6 rankers here, or 5 even, then what you need to do is you need to look at how many actual referring domains do these guys here, the top rankers, have, and then just assess this to gauge or to understand. Doesn't even make sense to go after this particular keyword with your own website. Of course, if you are selling pullouts, you need to do the bare minimum. You need to have an optimized page, an optimized collection page if you're an e-commerce store to rank for that keyword. But yeah, sometimes some keywords are worth attacking and some keywords are not. So what I would recommend you to do if you are an e-commerce store, it doesn't matter. The example applies to all businesses that want to do SEO, that want to engage with SEO. You should have the bare basics in place. So this is knowing what's the main keyword for your most important service or product, optimizing your page to rank for that. And then backlinks is the third step, the most important step, usually the biggest needle mover. But it's only the most important step if you know what you're doing and if you have everything else in place, which is beyond the scope of this video. So what I would do here is that in order to understand that, should I even go after it? Because sometimes the mistake that you can be making is that you are going after, you want to really force your way into ranking number one for pull-out sofa bed. But there's some Goliath, like IKEA, already sitting on top with 500 backlinks and 91 DR. DR 91, this is really hard to achieve if you want to build up your DR, which is domain rating. It just means how many backlinks your entire domain has. DR 91, if you want to get your DR into the 90s, you need millions of dollars worth of backlinks built to your own domain to achieve at least a DR 90. And it can even be in tens of millions. But like if you're doing deliberate link building, like a few million is going to get you there. But also you don't have a few million to spend right now or to invest right now. Yeah. But you can make up for the lack in DR if your DR rating in the 30s or 40s, or even maybe you're just starting out. You can make up for your lack of TR by just building links directly to that URL. So TR stands for the entire domain rating, but UR or URL strength stands for how strong that particular URL is. And the URL gets its strengths partially from the DR, from how strong the domain is, but also how many direct links have been built to this particular URL. And IKEA has tons of links, so there are 2 things to talk about this here. First of all, it seems like it's not worth trying to go after IKEA or to try to beat them, but you don't really need to beat everybody. It's like you see here, the second position here, who's Walmart. Walmart has 20 times less links than referring domains. And I'm usually looking at referring domains because on a left page basis, only one link counts, so one link from one domain. So if you have 2 links from the same domain going to the same URL, so you have the same site linking to this page 2 times, then only the first link is going to count and give it weight or value in terms of helping it rank. The second link is not going to help it rank any higher. You are better off looking at the domains. So how many links from different domains do they have? So 508 is really hard to beat. So if we say that the average link costs around $300 or $400, even with $300, just 500 times 300, that's $150,000 worth of backlinks. So probably you don't want to go after it, although it might be worth it because see how much traffic they're getting. Probably making millions every month selling sofas online by just ranking number one for this. But maybe this is not feasible or you don't want to invest that much, then go after the second result or the third result. And it's not exact science here, but you need to just figure out the ballparks here. And also different pages rank for different keywords. That's why the traffic numbers are different. And even though pull-out sofa bed only has 16,000 search volume, how is IKEA getting almost 140K? The answer is that they're also ranking for many other keywords like sleeper sofa here, 74,000. But anyway, point here is that how to measure the cap or link cap, and why the point of the video is that you don't really need as many links as you think, is that if you actually do, this is something we do for our clients, is to figure out which keywords are worth attacking and which keywords are the easiest. So you could start from those. And once you get those to rank, then you can get some money coming in that you can then invest into other keywords and more difficult keywords to go after those well. So in time, in a few years or in a few months, usually months is not doable unless your niche is not competitive at all. Usually a year or so or a few years, you will be able to dominate your entire niche if you are deliberately doing link building and going one page at a time, or maybe 3 or 5 pages at a time, and going like trying to build the most amount of links to get it to the top 3, to whichever position is feasible, and then moving onwards from there. How to actually check is you open up the backlinks here. I usually do it for the top 3 to get the average. So what's the average? You get the top 3 and then what's the average traffic? I'm just going to show you an example of how to actually do this. So we open up the IKEA's links here, because although they have 508, maybe a lot of these are spammy links and don't really count. The main filters I apply here, I'm only looking for follow links and only interested in links that have a DR of at least 20 and from sites that have at least some organic traffic. So I'm only interested in sites that have like at least 100 organic visitors, because if the site where a backlink is coming from doesn't have any links itself, then it carries much less weight in order to help you rank higher on Google. Because why would Google consider links that they don't really trust from sites that they don't trust enough to send them organic traffic? That's the logic here. And these are the main filters. So I'm going to apply those filters. And then another thing is I'm going to add 1 link per domain. And you see here, this 1600 links was reduced down to 17 links from different websites. So they have 17 links per website. So that's not that hard to beat. So that's the idea of the video, is that usually you need links than you think. But although, because these guys here are IKEA and they have a DR of 91, you need to build way more than 17 links just to make up for it. And also some of their links are super high DR, like this one here. Like this is a link from New York Times, has a DR of 94. So this link is really to beat. So let's say if they only had this 1 link here and you now build 2 links, you're not going to beat them because this link is just so powerful. So again, just apply your common sense. Keep in mind how high their own DR is, which is 91, and just take a quick glance at their links. But overall, they have 17 really high powerful links. Because those links are quite powerful, you don't need to dig deep. We usually dig a little deeper. We look at these links as well, like how hard are they to get? Are they acquired by accident, or what's going on here? How hard are these to beat? But in my mind, I would say that because these links are quite powerful, many of them, I would say you need at least 30 to 40 links to beat those links. And then also 10 to 20 links to beat IKEA. So in aggregate, you need 50 to 60 links to beat IKEA in terms of link strength for this particular keyword. So that's not that many, to be honest. And the second thing I would look at is, okay, IKEA 50, 60 links. What about the second result? And then also apply same filters, TR 20, domain traffic 100, show results, only 1. So again, there are other factors that are at play to help them rank for that. So they also have a lot of topic authority and so on. But this is how to figure out the link gap, because link gap is usually the biggest gap. It's the most expensive to fill. That's how you figure out the link gap. Another example here is that if some keywords like the sofa one we were talking about before was too difficult, you don't want to build that many links, although you might not need as many as I should. You can go after longer tail keywords like sofa with chase. So this has less search volume, but also less competition. And you can see the top rankers here, IKEA again, sofas with chase, also has a lot of links, although we don't know how many of these are actually correct. But let's assume 50 again. That's quite hard to beat, but maybe this one's here, like BassettFurniture.com, they have a DR of 66. Only 3 backlinks for 1 referring domain. So even if this is strong, let's say you need 3 links to beat their strong, 3 average links to beat their strong link, and your DR is in the 30s. So you need around 5 to 10 links to beat the domain strength or the link gap, beat the link gap. So this keyword is definitely worth trying to go after first before going after the other one. So this is how to do the link gap analysis. Just go through and look at their links. And also, I wouldn't be surprised if I open up the actual link here, see what's going on, that it proves to be a low quality link. So let's see. Yeah, as you can see here, it's a super low quality link because the DR is 0 and the domain has no traffic at all. And it's just 1 link from 3 different places. So this is a super weak link. And yeah, probably the rankings aren't based on the links. The link power is really weak. They're ranking based on different things. And they're probably ranking based on how much topical authority they have. They have furniture in their domain name. Their DR is quite strong. So yeah, but in terms of links, they are quite weak. So there isn't that much links that you need to build here, unless you are really weak on some other factors, which is another topic. So I'm going to show you a few other examples. So here we have, that's Orlando. So 1,500 searches a month in the United States. And you see here the top ranker has a DR of 1 only, but they have a decent amount of links going to their domain. Second one is DR 11. Again, like a decent amount of links, but if you actually go and look at those links. So let's go and look at those links here. To follow TR20, domain traffic is 100, and just see how many actual high quality links they have, one per domain. Then we will see how many links the top rankers in Orlando for the keyword dentist, which is a highly lucrative keyword, actually have. So the result is 13 links from decent domains. So again, not that many at all for the second ranker here. And although it showed 131, actual quality links are only 13 links. So again, this doesn't mean that if you build 15 links, you're going to be able to beat, but it just shows that considering the most important rank factor for these results here, for the organic results, which is links, backlinks, they are quite weak. There's a lot of weakness here. But also this is for the main keyword, Dentist Orlando. If you go for another keyword like, not Dentist Orlando, but Invisalign Orlando, which is a product, a really expensive, high ticket product. The dentists, if they are offering it, really want to sell because that's a high ticket, that's a lot of profit for the dentist, Invisalign Orlando. You see here that the top rankers don't really have many backlinks at all. So this is definitely a huge opportunity. Like I would be super excited to be in this niche, competing in this niche, because they're only ranking based on their topical authority, based on their how well this page is set up and the on-page optimization, which is really easy to match and beat. And then if you beat or match their topical authority, their page optimization, and then also build some more backlinks, you're going to be able to beat them quite easily. Again, showing that if you get the keyword research, then usually you don't need as many links as you would guess. So imagine, especially given how lucrative it is to rank for these keywords, because if this would get you like Invisalign, like my wife had Invisalign, she paid 5.5k euros for that, and it isn't that much for the doctor. Yeah, it's definitely highly lucrative compared to just the usual checkup, which is, I don't know, $100, $200. So yeah. And another final example is Divorce Lawyer Seattle, for example. Highly lucrative keyword again. And the top rankers here, like they have a DR of 34, ranking with their homepage, which is giving them a huge advantage. Here, these guys here are ranking with a subpage or a URL, location/Seattle. They only have 15 referring domains going to their page, which is helping them rank number 2 in the organic results here. If you then go again and look at like how many actual high quality links do they have, go to this page, again at the same filters we always do. These are just not that high filters even. We look at unique links, only 4. So again, like this is for Divorce Lawyer Seattle. It's not that difficult. So yeah, you don't need that many links. Of course, these guys here are ranking with their homepage, which is giving them a huge advantage. But even they are beatable. If you're also competing with your homepage, you can look at how many links you actually need to your own domain, not just to your homepage, but the entire domain to beat them. So let's do a quick search here. Because again, like this is highly lucrative. 225, and how many unique ones? They only have 19 unique domains with decent metrics. So yeah, again, I'm not saying it's as easy, but still link up is one of the most important ranking vectors, backlinks, that is. And if you're able to measure how many you need, what's the gap, then based on that, you can start to build out the gap or fill the gap with links that you deliver to your own landing pages to be able to have more links and to beat your competitors in that factor. And other factors are usually easier to beat them on. Yeah. And final example is that this example was for Seattle Divorce Lawyer. So now we do the same search for high net worth divorce lawyer. So this is longer tailed phrase, which has way less searches per month, but it's so high ticket. This is like this keyword for a divorce lawyer in New York, and you were ranking for this keyword. High net worth cases can bring in 3 times, 5 times, maybe even 10 or more times more money than your usual terms. And these are usually because they have longer tail. Most people don't bother to optimize for those keywords. And if you do, you will have high odds of ranking. So you see here, criminallaw.com is ranking number 1 with a DR of only 4 and basically no backlinks showing here because they have a dedicated page here. So if you create a dedicated page yourself, build a few backlinks to it just to build the moat so that it's harder to beat you than it is to beat these guys here. It doesn't take that much. Yeah, that's the point of this video. If you want me and my team to take a look and to analyze your site, what are the low-hanging fruit opportunities? Which of your most important pages need how many links built to them? What's the link up for your most important pages? Just go to the first link in the description and we will do a 5 to 10 minute video audit of your site. What are the low-hanging fruits? Where we would recommend to build links for your business? And yeah, then you can either build them by yourself or you can ask our help to build out links for you and to start offering link building service to you, either one time or a monthly link building service, which is usually something that will help to get you to the top of your search rankings and also to keep you there. Because with every link you build, you're going to build out that will increase the moat that is making it harder and harder for your competitors to beat you. So thank you. I hope this was valuable. Have a great day.